G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League. So only a very slight change to the team today. And what I want to do is swap my Azumarill from Hydro Pump to Play Rough. So I'll be running Ice Beam and Play Rough. And so the reason I'm making this swap is because if I use my Azumarill as a switch in into other Azumarills, so obviously lose the lead with Galarian Stunfisk, switch in to my Azumarill. If they leave their Azumarill in, then I've got much better play, basically, and works out a lot better for me. So I've switched that up and kept everything else the same. So running Galarian Stunfisk, Azumarill with Ice Beam and Play Rough, and then Shiftry in the back. So in this first game, have the mirror match, which I absolutely hate. The big thing, so they've thrown their energy straight away. I know this is a rock slide, I don't have to shield. So everybody, charge up to the Earthquake, even if you're not going to throw it, just so you can pressure shield. I charge up to the Earthquake, throw the Earthquake and get no shield. So absolutely outstanding for me there. So let's see what comes in next. So next in comes the Meganium. So this has already put me in an amazing position, so I'm not going to switch out of the Meganium just because I've got a pretty good matchup with it. I do need to shield the Earthquakes, but I can throw the Rock Slide spam, so shield up here. It was the Earthquake, so really good for me. So now I'm going to throw my own Earthquake, so I'm not sure that they're going to commit 2 shields to this, and they do. So they commit 2 shields to the to the Meganium here, and they throw another Earthquake. That's absolutely fine. So I'm going to bring in my Shiftry. Shiftry's got a really good matchup. And out comes an Altaria. So I did throw the foul play, but I will switch straight out of that and onto the Azumarill here. So this is why I run Ice Beam, because 1, Altaria, and 2, any grass types it gets matched with. So absolutely outstanding there. They're going to throw their energy, so I'm going to let this go because I do know that the Shiftry has the better matchup and it can get to energy so much faster. So save the shield in case they got to a charge move before I could, but that wasn't the case. So happy days, able to take game number 1. So that's where the utility of Shiftry comes in. It's able to pressure the grass types as well. So Drift Blimp off the lead, so not a terrible match. So obviously my Mudshot's going to be doing absolutely nothing, and I need to throw the Rock Slide as quickly as possible because I'm expecting an Icy Wind to come through. So expect this to be the Icy Wind. Unfortunately, it's the Shadow Ball. It does a whole lot of damage. And then they make a fabulous swap into Azumarill. So catching that charge move, so then I swap out to Shiftry to charge up energy. So when you're facing a Azumarill, always count those bubbles. So you should be trying to count for everything, and always count those bubbles so you can charge up as much energy as you can. So even though I'm at a Leaf Blade, I'm going to over farm a little bit there because I know that they can't throw the Ice Beam yet. So throw the Leaf Blade, able to get to another Leaf Blade before they can get to a Ice Beam, so really good for me. Out comes the Shadow Gardevoir, so not great for me. They do swap into the Drift Blimp, absolutely fine with me because able to throw that Rock Slide, super effective damage because of the flying type, and then come in and farm down with the Azumarill here. So expecting an Icy Wind to come through. It is actually a Shadow Ball, so I'm not sure whether that was the play, but they Shadow Balled. I was able to store up energy and then throw the Ice Beam straight away on the Gardevoir, and because it's a shadow, it's very weak and was able to take that game. So really glassy and able to take that game. So let's jump straight into the next one and see what we get matched up with. So obviously Galarian Stunfisk, really good. It's got some really solid matchups in the current meta, and this is another one. So Skarmory on the lead here, expecting them to switch out, so get ready for it. So in comes Toxicroak. Now I think that was too fast, so I was trying to count the moves, and it was the Mud Bomb, so that's absolutely fine. Works out really perfectly for me. Charge up to get a little bit of extra energy, and then throw the Ice Beam. So for this one, contemplating, think it's going to be the Sludge Wave. It was only a Mud Bomb bait, and so they got a shield, so really good on their part. But then was able to fast move farm that down and throw this energy against the Skarmory here. So I will let this go. So I'm hoping that it's a Brave Bird. It's not going to be. It's going to be the Sky Attack. And then unfortunately, so fortunately for me, I am able to get to another Ice Beam. So that's absolutely outstanding. And that chip damage is really going to help me out. So obviously for this, I'm going to come in with the Galarian Stunfisk. Just be careful of the switch out. They're not doing that. And no need to shield this. Even if it is a Brave Bird, it's going to do a little bit more damage being the Brave Bird, but it also means that I save a shield in the back because I'm not sure what's going to come out. So out comes an Azumarill. And so here I've made a little bit of a mistake. What I probably should have done is instantly swapped. So I am waiting for them to throw their energy. So unfortunately, they are not throwing energy here. So what they're doing is going to farm me up. And here I should have instantly swapped instead of letting them continue to farm me up and get energy. So they're able to obviously throw an Ice Beam straight up. And then let's see, able to get to a second Ice Beam because they stored so much energy. I am able to survive the second Ice Beam and then get to the Leaf Blade. So really close game there. I was expecting the Azumarill to dump its energy. Unfortunately for me, they committed to the farm, and it almost cost me the game there. So got to be really careful and just switch out. So especially after I threw the second Earthquake, just switch that out, save the extra bubbles. So a Vigoroth on the lead is horrible for this team. It counters everything, so people will bring in Vigoroth to counter Azumarills because it's so spammy. And then out comes Registeel. So Azumarill running Ice Beam and Play Rough has absolutely no play against the Registeel here. So all I can do is try and bait a shield, and we'll see what we get. So 2 Ice Beams and no shield, so really bad for me. And then they're going to come through and finish this one off with the Flash Cannon there. Come back out with the Stunfisk, so I will have to shield this up in case it's the Focus Blast. It is the Flash Cannon bait, so they've been doing really well. So nice bait there, and really good for them to not fall for my bait. So unfortunately, then out comes the Vigoroth, and I'm going to Leaf Blade here. So this is really bad. So obviously I've got no play here. Needed to try and win switch and get these. Even the other way around, it's really difficult. Need to commit a shield here, and then hopefully can get the last shield from the Vigoroth. Well, would have liked to actually take out the Vigoroth. So now I've got a Galarian Stunfisk versus a Vigoroth and an Azumarill. Not a good place to be. So in that instance, should have Earthquaked. Shields are down. Should have Earthquaked. Needed to double Rock Slide anyway. So he should have Earthquaked and then Mud Shot down, but wasn't to be. They've got the Hydro Pump, so it didn't make a difference. That's GG. So Vigoroth on the lead is really bad for me. Really bad. So let's see what the next game is. See what we get. So Cresselia on the lead, so that's not terrible. So I'm just trying to figure out. So I will resist its fast moves. Going to do next to nothing. It will be running Grass Knot. All Cresselia's in the Great League basically a running Grass Knot, so able to get to those charge moves pretty quickly. I'm going to do neutral damage, resistant from steel, super effective from the ground typing, so yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, they're able to get to another Grass Knot before I am able to, so I have to shield up there, throw the energy. They also shield, so that's really interesting. And then they're able to get to another Grass Knot before I am. And that takes me out. So I'm going to bring in the Shiftry here to farm this down, so I should be able to farm that down, no worries whatsoever. So really bad situation to be in, because they have a Bastiodon and then a Lantern. I've got no play here needed to win that switch advantage, so as it turns out, should have committed the second shield for the switch. Even so, yeah, they could have also committed a shield and been able to still win switch there, and we would have been both down at no shields. So not ideal situation to be in. Out comes the Bastiodon. At this point, there really is nothing I can do. The foul plays aren't going to be getting there quickly enough, and I'm not going to be able to stall this clock out to be able to do a sacrificial swap. So this is good game right here. Flamethrower just didn't take me out. Got to the Ice Beam. Again, this is where Hydro Pump would have come in handy, but then in the mirror for the Azumarills, it's definitely beneficial to have the Play Rough. So I will stick with the Play Rough and Ice Beam for now. So again, really strong lead there. And able to expecting the switch out, but then people are sort of hesitant to switch out. Sometimes they'll wait for the energy to be thrown, so a little bit slow on the switch there, so you need to be faster on the switch if you can get out before they get to, so I think they had 2 bubbles worth of energy before I got to switch. So if you really need to get out with 1 bubble, or try and get out as at the same time, just to mean you can stop them throwing so many Ice Beams. So for here, I charged up to 2 Leaf Blades of energy. They did get the same in, so I'm going to overfarm there, and really good switch out by them. So I wasn't watching the clock, came back in with the Skarmory to Sky Attack me, and there goes all of that energy just gone. So really got to watch that, and really good play on the opponent's part, and so this is going to be a very uphill battle now. So let's see what we get. So over farming a lot here to get a lot of energy, because expecting the Azumarill to come back out, which it does. So going to go straight up Earthquake to try and KO this. So they did shield this up, and then they switch into a Alolan Raichu. So really bad for me. Running Thunder Punch, which is very lucky because I'm able to get to a charge move. So Alolan Raichu really needs shield, so you can see that does a lot of damage, and then I'm able to actually fast move farm it down, and then able to get to another Play Rough on the Azumarill, which is enough to take out theirs. So not having Hydro on the Azumarill actually saved me in that game, so able to win that one because of the Play Rough there on the opposing Azumarill. So jumping in straight into the next one, again, absolutely fantastic lead, and you want to maintain that. So out comes the Umbreon. It's got absolutely no play on the Azumarill, so Flower Play is going to be resisted, so I think it needs the Community Day move Return. So I'm going to throw a Play Rough there. They did not shield it. That's absolutely spectacular. Does a huge amount of damage, and now I can pressure with Ice Beams when I get there. So Going to overfarm a fraction, get a little bit of lag. Unfortunately, they got to another charge move because there was a little bit of lag there. And then now that they've got to another charge move, I'm overfarming. I'm overfarming far too much. So all this chip damage adds up, and I want to throw the Ice Beam now and see what I get. So 100% going to take this out. Out comes a Cresselia. So Cresselia in the back is okay. For me, I just need to maintain Altaria versus my Galarian Stunfisk and my Shiftry versus the Cresselia there. So obviously waiting for the swap, it did happen, and then swap it straight out, and then they're going to have to burn some shields here. So I'm going to not shield this first one up. It's going to be the Sky Attack, and Sky Attack's going to do next to no damage. I am waiting and expecting a swap out as soon as that time is up. So I am watching that clock, and I'm just throwing these as quickly as possible because I want to put as much shield pressure on as possible and as much pressure on the health as possible. So not shielding this one up either. I'm going to let that Sky Attack come through. Time is up. Out comes the Cresselia, so swap straight in with the Shiftry, able to catch it, going to throw the foul play straight away. Expect to get to take that out. Out comes the Altaria, get to another foul play, able to throw that. And so this is one of the big advantages of Shiftry versus the Flyers. It has some play. So if you have Meganium versus Flyers versus, well, Altaria versus Skarmory, you just have absolutely no play. Shiftry can still put in some damage with its dark type charge move. So that's one of the big advantages of the Shiftry there. So swapping out into... Yeah, so this is questionable. I think they may have made a mistake in this switch, this situation, so not ideal. So I'm thinking that's the Earthquake, but it is actually only, well, it's not Earthquake, the Sludge Wave, sorry. So normally the Swampert in Great League will be running Sludge Wave and there's the Sludge Wave, does a huge amount of damage, and I'm going to look to fast move, farm it down. Was not able to get there. The Surf is going to take me out, so I'm going to come out with the Shiftry there. Unfortunately, they've got an Altaria in the back, so out comes the Drill Peck, and they baited a shield out of me, which is really bad. Going to throw the Earthquake, and they've no shielded the Earthquake. Absolute disaster. So had they shielded the Earthquake, very different game. No way to sort of win this. From here, absolutely perfect, able to get to the Rock Slides. They will be shielding up this Rock Slide, but that will put them in range, and they will have to use their energy to take out the Stunfisk here, and then in comes the Shiftry. And like I said, it's actually got some play against the Flyers, so able to take out the Altaria there and win that match. So the Shiftry in the back, so really good, because obviously the hard counters to Meganium are going to be, well, your Flyers, and Shiftry does have a little bit more play, so works out really well. So not quite as good in the Azumarill matchup, but because of the dark type fast move, but so much better in the flying matchup. So in comes a Wishcash on the lead. They've swapped into a Skarmory, so interesting swap in there, because I will be able to pressure shields with the Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is going to do neutral damage because of the flying steel type. I will shield this first one up. It is just a Sky Attack, and questionable whether I should have shielded that up or waited. They did match their shields now, and the switch clock is up, so need to be aware of that. And just keep in mind that they may be trying to switch out. So they got one little fast move in there, and then they've double shielded here. So and then they fast move farm down my Azumarill. So out comes the Galarian Stunfisk, so I won't shield this up. So it is a brave bird, is a sky attack. Really glad it wasn't the brave bird. Went to charge to 2 rock slides, and they got another charge move in, so going to overfarm just a fraction. Unfortunately, they're so close that even this undercharging is going to KO. Would have really liked to get a little bit more farm. So out comes the Galarian Stunfisk, so able to throw the earthquake there. So we'll be throwing the foul play. So foul play is going to be neutral because of the psychic and fighting type of Medicham. So I will shield this one up, and it is the ice punch. So absolutely spectacular. Charge up to 2 leaf blades here on the Shiftry, and then throw as soon as the Wishcash comes back out, throw that and take it out and take that good game. So that's the other real big thing that I love about Shiftry, is the fact that it charges those it gets to its charge moves so quickly. So really good there. Let's see how we go here. So again, Skarmory on the lead, so really common lead at the moment. This may all change. So they've switched in, and again, too slow on the switch in there for the Azumarill, and really need to try and catch that a little bit better. Charged up a little bit extra, obviously, because counting those fast moves, so you really want to count those charge moves, and then throw back to back to try and avoid them getting an extra bubble through. Was able to do that, so will, unfortunately, because I was so slow, they get to another Ice Beam. So I'm going to charge this up, and let's see, they should be letting this go, and they'll leave this match with a shield advantage, and they didn't. So that's a real big misplay on my opponent's part, because I can just throw another Leaf Blade, and so not only do I win the match, but we also equal on shield. So this is a mistake on my part. Should have thrown the dark type moves, so the grass are going to be resisted. So the reason I'm throwing is because obviously it's going to charge me down in just a second, which it has done. So I'm able to come out and instantly throw the rock slide. So the reason I wanted to throw that rock slide is to get rid of all of that energy they had. At this point, they realize that's GG, and off they go. So storing that charged energy on and able to go 5-0 in that set. So really good. So storing that charge energy to be able to throw as soon as you switch in is really ideal. So have a Dratini here as the reward, which isn't bad. So I have a video on improving your excellent throws. I'll link that now if you want to check that out. I say that, but missed the excellent throw, so really not a good example, but that's fine. So for this one, the big difference here to my previous team is just a swap up in move for Azumarill, and as you saw, it does mean that you can, when you switch in and get counter switched into Azumarill, you are able to play rough. So more for when you lose lead with the Stunfisk and they have an Azumarill, you can match with your Azumarill. If they do not run out of that match, you've got play. So really good. And I like Ice Beam because it threatens the grass, which is what will come, and it's the cheapest charge move that you can have that's sort of playable in the current meta. So that's my team at the moment. Hopefully it was useful for someone. So looking about storing energy, counting charge moves, all of that sort of stuff. So hopefully it was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.